Major moves. We going all in, like we got nothing to lose. We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves.
Welcome back to my channel. I want to thank you guys for actively deciding to spend time with me. I'm just a guy in a Spider-Man mask, a cool one I might add. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just providing information and content already on the internet, and I just read it and present it to you guys in a way that may reach you or may not reach you. Whatever the reason is you found my page, I'm grateful you're here, and thank you for spending time with me. Let's get into this.
What is up, everybody? I am Mr. Man, and if you don't know me, get to know me, get to know this face. There's not many like me out there that's doing this whole talking about crypto, and looks good doing it. But I'm Mr. Man. I bring you fire content with regards to cryptocurrency, the banking industry and sector, what's going on right now as this economic collapse unfolds. And let's jump into it. Today we're going to be talking about the FedNow system, how that works, what it's about, who the key players are, the Faster Payments Council, who that team is, and Ripple and Stellar, because they are both involved in this. Mainly Ripple. Mainly Ripple is involved in this. Another one, I'll get into the whole Stellar aspect of it, but today is just about Ripple. This is a PDF I've had for some time now, but I got this from one of my one of my brethrens here, this guy named Smoke. Check him out on Twitter. If you can't find him, typing in Smoke. It's at SMQKE. Let's jump into this. FedNow services. The readiness guide. This isn't for us. This is for the other companies that are looking to connect to the FedNow service itself, right? They want to get the individual companies ready and what to expect and how to go about doing what they need to do. So, with the FedNow services funds, with the FedNow service, funds will settle between participating financial institution or FIs in real time, which means there's no buildup of interbank obligation or short-term credit risk. And end users should have access to their money immediately. No nostro accounts at all, no money being held back for anything. When the FedNow services launches in 2023, we've learned that Lael Brainerd had said that it's going to be launching in July 2023. Don't forget this. Initial features will include, this is the initial features, this is what we can expect. Well, we being you who live out in the States, I live in Canada, our Canadian rails are already set up. So, service level, instant payments, 24/7, 365 availability, core clearing and settlement capabilities with credit transfer completing in seconds. A FedNow interface via FedLine. I want to look that up one time and show you guys what that's about. I'm sure Smoke would have that. He's all about the APIs. Solution for participating FIs or their service providers to support reports and queries and manage configurations. Access to balance information around the clock, activity reports available on demand or end of day. Flexibility. FIs will be able to settle using their own master accounts. So at this point, the master accounts will be open for these individual companies or anchors or connectors to connect with the FedNow services. And we've also learned in summer, the master accounts will be more transparent. And the master accounts is what's going to allow these individual companies or FIs to have accounts via the Federal Reserve now, which is operating this FedNow service. So other companies, Fed service, other companies connecting, I'll show you guys that in a minute. All right. So back in, let's do this. Back in, I think it's 2017, all right, there was a QIAT formed, the QIAT, for the Faster Payments Task Force proposal, all right, Ripple, Real-Time Cross-Border Payment Service. Ripple is a part of this Faster Payments Council or Task Force, and they are also on the Faster Payments Council. The Faster Payments Council was charged with creating a faster payments task force, or a steering group, if you will, to get this moving in the direction they need, and to put into account the considerations that need to be looked after for this to become a reality. This is 2016. So, submitted by Ryan Zagone, Director of Regulatory Relations at Ripple. There we go. So, the purpose of the template and instructions for use. This proposal template has been developed to assist other proposers, to detail their proposal for a full end-to-end faster payment solution. The template is designed to increase the consistency of information provided by the proposers, as well as to provide the breadth and depth of information needed for the Qualified Independent Assessment Team, the QIAT, which is who this team is here, to understand and assess a proposal against the effectiveness criteria. Proposers submitting proposals for assessment by the QIAT should use this template and complete all parts and subsections as described in the instructions. I don't need to go into the template and what that is. Oops, where did it go? There we go. So, for whatever reason, they happen to go into an overview of Ripple on the Faster Payments Task Force document here. Ripple is a real-time interbank payment service. Ripple's technology allows financial institutions, or FIs, to directly transact with each other and settle transactions in real time 24/7, 365. Does that not sound like what the Fed has just said? What the Fed said? Right? Where is it? Right there. To settle 24/7, 365. Just same language. While the technology can be used for both domestic and cross-border payments, this proposal focuses on Ripple's ability to enable cross-border payments that meet emerging market demands and the effective criteria. Ripple's solution consists of a software application that enables bidirectional messaging and data transfer, real-time settlement, and liquidity management. Ripple enables settlements of cross-border payments between the originating and beneficiary FIs in under 1 second. The full end-to-end payment process can be completed in under 5 seconds, plus the time of the FI's internal compliance process. Ripple synchronizes simultaneous transaction on the FI's books instead of relying payments sequentially as is done today. This process minimizes the settlement risk and reduces the cost of cross-border payments, enabling FIs to improve existing payment services. So you see that? It's looking to improve existing payments, not completely overhaul it and change it up and switch it up. And okay, we're using blockchain now. We have to learn a whole new way of doing everything. We're not doing anything like back in the past anymore. No. They are going to continue doing the old things or operate the old way or direction that they used to before. Now they're implementing blockchain, but still going to sit in a similar direction. And eventually it'll come to an inflection point where they will reach or have enough data and information that they can veer and do what they needed to do and get that transition, that real robustness going. And where this really becomes interesting now is when they have the connectors for the apps and how the apps looks and what these connectors will create. That'll be interesting. Kind of like having your iPhone or your Samsung or whatever the Android phone is at that point. And they have the different apps on there and what they can and can't do. The iPhone's great, but it's the apps that make the phone. Truth be told, Ripple provides payers and FIs the total cost of the payment prior to authorization, end-to-end traceability, and the ability to send low-value cross-border products that are not feasible with today's infrastructure. Ripple is designed to complement the FI's payments business. Ripple's solution can be integrated directly into an FI's payment hub, or may be integrated into a third-party provider's platform that FIs are already connected to. This flexible approach allows direct integration for banks with custom technology, or scalable integration for banks that rely on external or off-the-shelf services. Regardless, the bank continues to own the customer relationship, and that's not going to change. The bank is still going to, even though there's a lot of ill trust or distrust or mistrust happening currently with what's going on right now in terms of the economy. The banks are at the forefront here, and they're still gonna, sad to say, but they're still going to have that trust for customers, or regain trust for customers. Like right now in Canada, there's a blitz of promotions going out there. You can get 20% on this if you keep your deposit for, X amount of time or X amount of months in the savings account. Yeah, okay, I'm going to trust that. Economy collapses, or the bank collapses, and all of a sudden my money's stuck in there. I was promised 20%. They go, and the only thing at that point, all they can offer me is a bail-in. My money's gone. And transaction monitoring program remain intact. Payments that a bank facilitates via Ripple are pushed to the beneficiary bank, who delivers the fund to the payee. Here's where it gets sweet. So here we are at the Faster Payments Council, okay? We're all talking about the same thing here. This is all the same stuff, okay? Look. Just so you can see. Sorry for having to scroll like this, alright? Faster Payments. Talking about the Faster Payments Task Force. Again, remember, the Faster Payments Council charged the Faster Payments Task Force or steering group to initiate whatever. So, here we are, leadership. Watch this. Of course, who's going to be on the leadership here? Of course, we have Ripple, right? Not only are they talking about Ripple, the company, in the previous PDF we were just checking out there in terms of the Faster Payments Task Force. Here in the Faster Payments Council, their leadership and executive team, you have Ripple. Alright? It's not just one. There are two individuals from Ripple on this task force, or this Faster Payments Council, sorry. But let's just go through. Let's just see who's on this leadership here. Alright? So these guys are all directly from the Faster Payments Council. Then you have individuals like FPC Chairman, Microsoft Corp, Target, National Consumer League, National Consumer Law Center, Better by Design, American Bankers Association, alright, the ABA, Merchant Group Advisor, Paygility, Wells Fargo, National Community, Visa, Open Payment Network, MasterCard, Jack Henry, Shazam, no doubt. There's a Pfizery, JPM right there, the FPC Advisory Board. So this is the advisory team now, who they look for in terms of direction, okay? First Bank, TimeIs.io, National Insurance, Catalyst Federal Credit Union, Natcha. Well, that's Matcha, different company, Matcha. Maybe that's spelled incorrectly. Netflix, Juniper Payments, Cionic. There's Natcha. Okay, there's Natcha. American Express, Citizen, TD Bank, Canadian banks up there. ACI Worldwide. Look at this gentleman right here, if you can see the mouse. I don't know if you can see the mouse. Right there. Craig Ramsey from ACI Worldwide, okay? Just remember that man's face. Remember that company, ACI Worldwide. Because we are jumping over to ACI Worldwide. Get ready for the FedNow Instant Payments Service. They are the first, or not the first, one of the connectors tapping into the FedNow Faster Payments rail. All right. Speak with an expert. Deliver end-to-end instant payments with the FedNow service. Get started quickly and grow revenues through custom and pre-built integrated solutions that work within your existing payment system. See that? Within your existing payment system. So you don't have to change too much. You have to learn a few new things now because you utilize this new end-to-end FedNow service, but you don't have to change much at all. Gain access to experts who have worked closely and collaboratively with the Federal Reserve FedNow team throughout every step of the development, enabling you to connect payees with payers in real time. Every step of the development, okay? I'm repeating that purposefully. Every step of the development. every step of the development. This is the FPC payments, Faster Payments Council, Faster Payments Council, FPC, there we go. Framework for the U.S. Faster Payments Council, okay, this came out 2020. This is the framework of what they're building, of what they want to do, the direction they want to go. They don't make these things fog free, right? You're talking, just fills it all up. FPC approach, foster private sector dialogue and collaboration to achieve ubiquity. You're going to hear that word a lot. Might not be today, but you're going to hear that word a lot, ubiquity. The FPC, Faster Payments Council, focuses on private sector approaches to solving problems and driving ubiquity. This includes supporting providers and network operators, efforts to enable end users to easily use an array of solutions and networks to reach each other in ways that are as seamless and transparent to them as mobile texting. It also involves supporting broad adoption of faster payments. As a solution-agnostic organization, the FPC is in a unique position to work with industry stakeholders and tackle challenges that may be more difficult to address through bilateral cooperation alone. Bilateral simply means from one country to another country. You don't necessarily need to have what challenges that may be more difficult to address through bilateral cooperation. So from one country to another country, having that bilateral agreement, whether for in the aviation industry, which is where I work, from this aircraft to leave Canada and to fly to the Netherlands, there has to be a bilateral agreement stating that this aircraft can leave from this region and fly over the ocean and enter this airspace and land in this region here. There's a bilateral agreement that's conducted from all of Canada and the Netherlands, as we're talking about. The FPC will become the go-to organization for encouraging faster payments. So you see, the FPC, Faster Payments Council, will become the go-to organization. So even though this is back in 2020, this organization is not done yet for encouraging faster payments and providing thought leadership as the market evolves because of it. Focuses on the larger goals of driving safety, security, and adoption of all faster payments and advancing the future of faster payments. Enables FPC members to broaden their reach and leverage their investment across a much broader base of transactions and create safe forums for dialogue governed by strong antitrust guardrails that support innovation, inform system design, and enhance the cross-solution risk mitigation. Okay, so here we have the IMF now. Let's jump into that document right here. Where is it? Sorry, bear with me for a minute here. What the heck is going on? Okay, this is not cooperating. There we go. Okay, there we go. It's like spazzing out. So, United States Financial Sector Assessment Group. This is from the IMF back in August 2020 as well. So not too long after the documents we were just reading. So, if we, alright, these here are lines pertaining to Ripple specifically from the IMF, okay? Only very few new players. What's the heading here? What's the heading? The heading's important. Here. Regulatory opportunities and challenges regarding new technology. Regulation and supervision of non-bank payment service providers. Down to 96, in non-bank service payment providers, we have only very few new players aim to challenge established payment infrastructures. Some new platforms aim to compete with payment systems such as TCH, ACH, TCH, RTP. TCH is the clearinghouse. ACH is automated clearinghouse. TCH, RTP is the clearinghouse, real-time payments, and the FedWire fund service, which are only accessible by banks. For example, RippleNet provides the software and the rulebook for a transfer mechanism, whereas financial intermediaries function as nodes and may partake in the consensus mechanism. So essentially the banks are going to be the nodes, or they're going to contain nodes. And they can validate, that'll essentially be the validation mechanism. So the bank will be the validation mechanism for the movement that RippleNet makes. These players offer a payment infrastructure outside the traditional U.S. payments system, both the US dollar and the virtual currency, and may be using DLT as a platform. Let's downsize that to a normal size again. Here we go. I'm going to show you guys here. So, risks specific to payment service providers other than payment systems overseen by the FRB, Federal Reserve Bank, are not fully addressed by dedicated regulatory requirements. The Money Transmission Acts at a state level, are dating back to the 1970s and are designed to protect consumer transactions sent as remittances, not payment infrastructure like activities such as offered by card payment schemes or certain DLT-based platforms like the FedNow. Card payment schemes are not considered to be retail payment infrastructures and have not been designed as systematically important by the FSOC, despite processing payments with annual values of trillions of dollars through multilateral agreements based on common rule books, and despite, for example, Visa considering itself to be a global payment system. RippleNet is designed as a wholesale payment system without being subject to payment system specific requirements, other than requirements posted by banks. There is, however, some limited scrutiny, for example, by FinCEN and the Federal Reserve. There is no dedicated regulatory regime for new types of digital services, such as gateway services, APIs, NFCs, access, or digital wallet services. Consequently, opinion letters or guidance by authorities to provide certainty on the interpretation of existing rules to these new types of service may be needed, which is what we're going through right now in terms of regulatory oversight and regulations coming into play. So, what I want to show you is, this. Alright, this is the retail payment process here. As we look through this here, this is from IMF, okay? They're talking about the Federal Reserve, checking and clearing, check clearing private. So it goes from the real-time rails, it goes from the real-time rails at the top here, alright, real-time payments, and it goes down to the payment aggregator, which would be your Facebook or your PayPal, Square, Stripe, Venmo, Zelle, Google, whatever it is you're using. Then it goes down to the card network, which would be Visa, MasterCard, American Express. If you used your credit card on one of those services itself. Like I can use Google's payment services, but I still have to pay for it via my credit card or my Visa debit card or MasterCard debit card. And that goes through a real-time payment service provider here, like the FedNow, which is planned. And over here, they're talking about the RippleNet. Alright, so DLT platform, for example, RippleNet, IBM, WorldWire, Center, Stablecoin Network. Alright, so the IMF is talking to the FedNow, and they're talking about RippleNet, and the same document as well. As we go through this. Okay, why does this thing struggle? Here we go, we're talking about Project Hamilton now, still within the US, okay? All of these, what do I want to call these? All of these initiatives are essentially going to be working together. These projects are going to be working together. The FedNow service with Project Hamilton, with Project Cedar. They're all doing their own thing, but essentially they'll inevitably connect and work together, work hand in hand. Okay? Okay, here we go. I'm reloaded. Okay, Ukraine. What are we talking about here? So retail CBDC is what's happening around the globe. We've gone through this many, many times already. Ukraine has a limited pilot test of synthetic CBDCs. What are synthetic CBDC? A synthetic CBDC is a wholesale CBDC, sort of, but it's also known as a wholesale stablecoin. So it's not a wholesale CBDC. A synthetic CBDC is known as a wholesale stablecoin. A synthetic CBDC or wholesale stablecoin could inevitably, and I'm waiting for definition on this, the global stablecoin essentially. In 2018, based on the Stellar Protocol, they are committed to continuing research through 2025 and have partnered with Stellar and Bit. All right, synthetic CBDC. It's a wholesale stablecoin, and they're talking about it there for Stellar. Ripple is XRP is the exact same thing. All right, no one's gonna fool me. They're not gonna fool me with their wordplay. All right, don't let them fool you either, guys. You're at the right place at the right time on the right channel. Don't forget to hit that like button, please. Let's get as many thumbs up as we can and get this information out there to people who think this is foolish, who don't believe this is what's going on, who have an understanding that, yeah, eventually and inevitably a digital dollar will come out. That's the way of the world. Everything's moving digital. But people have no idea how fast it's coming and what the infrastructure is behind it. And you and we stand the chance to make a lot of money on this. So Brazil's working with Ripple to build a prototype and looking to have a pilot by the end of 2022. And an introduction to a final version in 2024. So you can expect next year something's going to pop off. Is that all I want to say for that one? I believe so. And then there's this. I posted this today for you guys to show you. I got this from my boy on Twitter, MetaMan. My boy MetaMan, check him out. His name is @MetaMan. Okay, this is from the, come on, Federal Reserve in Atlanta. This came out May 2023. So just recently. And again, I had it all pulled up. Not that one. This one here, where it talks about the structure itself, okay? Switzerland, Euro area, Singapore, key components, bridges, link between the domestic platforms and the international networks. There it is, wholesale CBDC based on uniform technical standards, and AMM, which is automated market makers, decentralized trading, and settlements with wholesale CBDCs. So if we're talking about a wholesale CBDC, we can be talking about swaps at that point. So the Mariana project for trade and settlement of a wholesale CBDC source is the BIS. So Ripple and Stellar are two blockchain-based companies that are trying to make value transfer cheaper. Ripple provides various services via the use of its native token, the XRP, which is roughly envisioned as an international payments medium or wholesale settlement. Shots! Finality, formally settlement coin, is also seeking regulatory approval to provide such services. Let me read it again, which is roughly envisioned as an international payment medium or wholesale settlement coin. So when we talk about stable coins, you have USDC, you have Tether, you have the Tether, you have the Euroc. Those are stable coins. Those are retail stable coins, all right? The commercial bank has the CBDC, the RCBDC, retail CBDC, and now that they have the deposits in there, which is backed by the WCBDC, which is the wholesale CBDC backed by commodities. That's the structure: commodities, wholesale, CBDC. On the other side of the tennis court, you have retail CBDC. One side of the tennis court, wholesale. Once on the other side, you have retail. This is us here. So the retail side, we have the commercial banks now. They issue the RCBDC, retail CBDCs to us. So, for instance, you have USDC now. USDC has its tokenized deposits. Its deposits are tokenized. So USDC has its own reserve. And you can just Google this. They have their reserve, which is backed by the US dollar. Inevitably, the US dollar is going to become digital. So that digital reserve is inevitably a CBDC eventually. But to utilize the stable coin, you have that stable coin value in its reserves. That's what that is. So we have the retail stable coin, and then we have the wholesale stable coin. Central banks have their own stable coins. They're going to move. Picture this. Picture the mirroring of worlds. We have our world. You guys should understand how that works now. Commercial bank money, retail money. On the opposite side of things now, in the wholesale side of things, commercial bank reserves and commercial bank stable coins, commercial bank money at that point to exchange the wholesale values on a larger scale. Picture our world, picture the bigger world. What we do here, they do there, just on a grand scale. Okay. Thank you guys for spending time with me. I appreciate this all the time. I do. I really, really do. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share these videos. I enjoy bringing up this content for you guys, putting the pieces together. I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Major moves. We going all in, like we got nothing to lose. We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves.